The cabinet condemns the Trump administration conversational moves aiming to shutter the United Nations Relief and Works Agency UNRWA and end the refugee status for millions of Palestinians, which is a clear proof of the Trump administration adaptation of the Israeli right-wing government plans to push the refugee fundamental rights of the negotiation table. UNRWA, and since it was formed in 1949, has been dedicated to ensuring millions of Palestinian refugees having access to services like healthcare and education until the refugee issue is resolved. However, by trying to unwind UNRWA, the Trump administration appears ready to create massive political and humanitarian crisis in the region by depriving millions of Palestinian refugees of any future rights of return to their homelands. The cabinet stresses that the refugee issue is a final status issue, which will only be resolved through negotiations leading to a just and agreed solution in accordance to the resolutions of international law and all United Nations resolutions governing the Palestinian rights. The Palestinian leadership and government will never neglect its responsibility towards protecting refugees' rights, and it's currently leading discussions to secure other sources of funding to support UNRWA's budget. The Palestinian government reaffirmed its commitment to endorse the Palestinian reconciliation process and unification of all Palestinian institutions. The cabinet also stresses that the campaigns that are marketing the temporary measures in Gaza as sanctions are completely false, as the Palestinian government did not and will never impose any sanctions on its own citizens in the Gaza Strip. The cabinet affirms that the current deductions related to a number of employees who receive 50% of their salaries are only temporary, and it will be solved soon. On that note, the government stresses its readiness to serve, engage and empower its citizens in the Gaza Strip, like the West Bank, if the government is unable to fully exercise its duties and manage internal security, internal taxes collection, police, civil defense and judicial system, and achieve effective control of all crossings. Finally, the cabinet strongly condemns the Israeli continuous violations against our citizens and holy sites, particularly the storming of Al-Aqsa Mosque courtyards by the Israeli consul in New York, accompanied by armed Israeli police. Besides the Israeli announcement of a new illegal settlement in the neighborhood of Silwan, south of the Al-Aqsa Mosque in occupied Jerusalem, in addition to the continuous arrests of Palestinian journalists, as well the tens of night raids, extensive and violent searches of Palestinian homes and properties in the occupied West Bank. Moreover, to the demolition of the two Palestinian houses in Beit al-Barakah, north of Hebron, which was confiscated by illegal settlers a year ago for the advancing of the Israeli colonial project. Besides the continuous use of the killing and imprisonment policy against unarmed Palestinians for practicing their rights to peaceful demonstrations in the Gaza Strip. The cabinet calls upon the international community and the humanitarian organizations to bring attention to such violations and take concrete steps to hold Israel accountable for its non-stop crimes against our defenseless nation.